So hello everybody. So in this chapter we are going to talk about the squares and the square roots. Okay, so in this chapter we will learn about the what are the square and how do we square, and what are the square roots and how do we do the square roots, and then we will see some tables and we will solve some questions also. Okay, so first we will learn about the square, and then after we will learn about the square roots, because that will make things simpler. And also during this we will consider some examples and tables, so you will get the real idea how it works. Okay, so first is the how do we square a number. So as per the definition, the square of a number is the multiply that number by itself. Okay, so it's a very simple, multiply that number by itself. So let's take an example. So suppose there is a question which says that what is the square of 3. So as per the definition, multiply that number by itself. So we have to multiply 3 by 3. Okay, so 9. So square of 3 is 9. Okay, so square we can also write as a little like 2. Okay, when you have you will see that what is a square of 4. So that 2 above the 4 is also called as a square. Okay guys, so I will show you one small table of squares. I would really recommend you guys that you should mug up this table and you should learn and you should mug up the square of these numbers, like square of 3 is 9, square of 4 is 16, square of 5 is 25, because in the exam you will see these numbers very frequently. So if you can learn this and you can mug up this table, and it will help you to make calculation very simple. So till now we have learned about the square of positive numbers, but how about the negative numbers? How square works with the negative number? Okay, so let's just take an example. So what will happen when we square of 9 minus 5? So as definition says that for the square we have to multiply that number by itself. So minus 5 cross minus 5 is equal to 25. Okay, so you must be seeing that minus 5 and 5, you multiply 5 by 5, it will give you 25. But what will happen when you multiply negative into negative? So there are some algebraic laws, or you can say some rules. You have to do calculation as per that. So when you multiply two positive numbers, it will give you positive number. When you have two negative numbers, it will give you positive number. And when you have one negative number and one positive number, then the product will be a negative number. And when you have a one positive number and to multiply that number with a negative number, it will give you the negative answer. So this rule is only for the multiplication. Also see the example. You can pause the video and you can see the example, and so you will get the real idea. So now I hope you know about the how square work. So now we will learn about the square roots. So the simple definition of the square root is just it is the inverse of the square. Like square is we denote like a 2, and square root we denote like a 1 by 2. That's simple. Okay, so let's take an example. So here you see that the square of 3 is 9, right? Okay, so what is the square root of 9? So what definition says? A value that can be multiplied by itself to give the original number. Okay, so the square root of 9 is 3. Why? Because when 3 multiply by itself, we get the 9. Is that clear? So now I'm showing you one small table and so you can relate the square with the square root. So here you see that the square of 4 is equal to 16. But what is the square root of 16? Is equal to 4. Okay, the square of 5 is equal to 25. But the square root of 25 is equal to 5. Because as per the definition, as I said, it's just an inverse of the square. Okay, so one more thing is, do you know this square and square root works for the decimal number also? So that this square and square root concept will work not only for integers, it will also work for the decimal number also. So just for the fun, okay, just tell me, do you know about the square root day? Okay, so I tell you, like what is the square root day? So I can say like 4th April 2016 is a square root day. How? When you write down the dates, it looks like 4, 4 and 16. So it looks like a square root day. Okay, so now just guess what will be the next square root day. Any guesses? No? Okay, so I can tell you, you can continue this little fun with your friends also. So next square root day should be like 5th May 2025, because when you write it, it's like 5 5 25. Is it fun, right? Okay, so now we will relate the square and the square root with each other. How? Okay, let's take an example. So here is the number 9. I would say just find out the square root of the number 9. What you will see? Okay, it's a 9 number. You will do calculation. 3 cross 3 is equal to 9. So you will say the square root of 9 is 3. But if you think another way, like when you multiply minus 3 with minus 3, at that time also you will get the 9. Right? So in short, we can say the square root of 9 could be minus 3 or plus 3. Okay, so whenever you have whenever you have to find the square root, always it will be minus that number and the positive that number. Let's take another example. So what are the square roots of 36? Again, we'll do the same calculation. We'll consider the positive number first, like 6 cross 6 is equal to 36, and then we'll take the negative number. Minus 6 cross minus 6 is also equal to 36. So the square root of 36 are minus 6 and 6. It depends what value you have to taken as per the equation. Okay, so like I told you, the square root is, we also write as a 1 by 2, but there is a symbol for the square root also. So the symbol is this. Okay, and this is the special symbol for the square root. That means we have to find the square root of that number, and we also call this a radical. Okay, so now you know about the radical sign also. So just take an example. Give me the answer of this question. Okay, take your time. So what is the square root of 36? Just think. I hope you could know the answer. Okay, you must be thinking it should be minus 6 and 6, right? But you are wrong. Whenever, there is a fun fact. Okay, so whenever you see this radical sign, that means we have to give only the positive value of that number. Okay, so minus 6 cannot happen. Okay, it's just a positive 6. So whenever you have this sign that find out the under root of 36, you always answer will be 6. Okay, so now next term is, what is the perfect square? So perfect square is nothing, it's just a square of a integer number. So what are the integer numbers? So integer numbers are the whole numbers including 0. So all the way from negative infinity to positive infinity, but all the integers. No fractional number is allowed. Okay, so like in question, when you see that what are the perfect squares, so you always need to find out what are the integers over there. So here's one small table of a perfect square, and like I told you earlier also, you should mug up this table, because this will help you to understand the concept, as well as it will make your calculation fast. Okay, so I hope you like this video and like this lesson. If yes, then please click on the like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and do not forget to click on the bell icon for more updates. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave your comments in your comment section, which is below this video. And thank you for watching this video, and remember, the math is easy.